Hello everybody and welcome back to SimFly News. This is Roberto Capodieci's SimFly spokesperson, and every week, some weeks earlier, some weeks like this one later, I bring to you the latest news about SimFly. I let you know what's going on, and I'm gonna share with you the progress that we're doing in achieving what we promised to deliver. And last week I told you we're working on activating the airplanes. And lucky you that it's taking a little longer than we expected, so we are still having airplane at the old price, because as soon as the airplane activate, the price is going to go up. So good for you that we found some difficulties, but we are progressing. Let me show you first of all something that last week I showed with activating the airplane. I show you that the airplane was supposed to result parked in the airport where you activate it. How does this look like? Let me show you. Is something like this. Clicking on the airport, you can see the park airplane there. And if you activated an airplane in a certain airport, you should find your own airplane there. You see the username, the tail number of the airplane, the model, and an icon for the airplane if it's available. And this is just to fix what I left myself halfway last week. But let's go to something new. Now you can upgrade, and we are not yet pushed this in production, but in our dev server we are achieving and closing this goal, so I'm sharing those with you. Okay, so when an airplane are going to be activated, it's going to be pushed everything in the production server. Price of the airplane gonna go up, but for now this is what we have. Okay, when you see that the upgrade button is activated because you have enough experience point, so for example if I look at the details of this airplane, I see that the progress bar arrive at the end, so from level 2 I can go to level 3, then I can push the upgrade button of this airplane. And if I push the upgrade button, I'm going to be brought to an interface that is very similar of the one that you already know about upgrading the license. This is the amount of packs I needed to do the upgrade from level 2 to level 3 in the case of this example. And you know, this number, don't look at them or in our dev server, okay, there are no official numbers, but you can select the term and condition and then press the upgrade buttons. Once you do this, you're gonna be brought here to the confirmation screen. It shows you that you have upgraded, the level history, how much packs you use for this upgrade, and again the numbers, don't look at them because they're no, you know, those are for demos, so we're not real numbers, okay? But you see that the level bar is growing. For example, there is a small incongruence there, but if you go and click view your assets, you will see here again that this airplane, which has 1 million experience points for us to do testing, but it arrived at level 3 and is even now ready to go to level 4. If you go check the details, you see that the bar is already ready to make an upgrade to level 4. But now is at level 3, that's what we wanted to show you. Alright, so this is how you do the upgrade of the airplane. Other things that are interesting is how you select the airplane when you do the mission once you have activated airplanes, because now with the license it's quite simple. You go there. In fact, we also fixed a small issue that there was, I'm gonna tell you this later, but when you go to start a mission, you go and, for example, choose the unrestricted flight, obviously because you need the license. You choose your own license, but the airplane is already selected because it's intercepting the one that you're using in your simulator. So first of all, be sure to be in the right airplane inside the simulator, then goes to the mission. In this way, you can choose your license and choose your airplane. So now, at the moment that you press start flight without making any selection, it tells you, please choose a license before starting the mission, because you have active licenses, so you must choose one. Okay, so do this and choose the license. Also, you didn't choose your airplane, it shows only which one has been detected. So if you started the mission without choosing an airplane, it's gonna tell you, pay attention, if you go ahead, it's going to use one of the SimFly airplanes, so you're not going to earn any packs or experience point in any of your airplanes. So do you want to continue or not? If you choose correctly no, then you can go back and choose one of your airplane. The airplane has to be an airplane that is correct for this mission, so the one that you are sitting on. You see there are two Cessna, for example, so you can choose which one you want to use, and they have to have the countdown to 0 in order to be able to be used. The other are not possible to be selected because they are not those of the mission or the one that you are using in your simulator. Okay, so this is something interesting because is the new way that you need to have to start the mission. So once you press validate, everything is okay, and now you are in your active flight. So you can see there is both your license and also your airplane inside the active flight. So you see also the details of the airplane and so on and so forth. So this is how you start the mission now. Then if you need to start the mission with a sim brief, before we had an issue because when you load the sim brief it goes automatically to start the mission. So if you didn't choose your license before, it's gonna give you an error, pilot license not found. So now again, if you go and select the unrestricted flight, and at this point you import the sim brief details for the flight, once you import them, it's going to tell you to choose the license, you see, before you import. In this way you don't incur in the error that once imported the sim brief is gonna go directly on the flight details to start the flight. So first of all, make sure that you choose your license, and once you do that, and for example here we are choosing this license is okay, and then we start with the import of sim brief. It tells you the same thing like before. You know, there is an airplane. If you don't choose one of your airplanes, it's gonna use a SimFly airplane, so you don't earn packs, you don't earn experience point. You wanna continue or not? If you don't have any airplanes, you can use the SimFly one. But if in this case you have one, you can go and again choose one, and it's going to be the airplane that you own that is used for the mission. So you're gonna earn packs and experience point. At this point, the mission can be gone ahead. The sim brief details are imported. The airplane match the one that you have in your simulator and one that you own. So you can finally start the flight. And again, here you see the details with your license and with the airplane that has been selected for the mission. Now, because you have sim brief, you have also the map of the flight that you're gonna do, but everything else remains as it was before. So what is the difference now when you go to the map, okay, for example, and in the map you click on an airplane that is in an active mission? Now the details are both the pilot license, so the user that is doing this mission with the pilot license, and with an airplane as well. So you can go and see, if you click in the icon in the avatar of the user, then you're gonna see the logbook of this user, okay? If it's your own, it's your own. If it's somebody else, you see. But if you go and click in the detail of the asset, is it the pilot license or the airplane, then you're going to go and see the details of this asset with all his own characteristic, you know, tail number, progress to upgrades, etc, etc, etc. So this is interesting, as it gives more details of the missions that the people is doing when they're flying around. Now, these are several things that we're working on when making the airplane that can be activated. You may have known that there is the ground operations countdown. So for the license you have the two timers for earning PAX and experience point in when you're using a particular license. For the airplane, you have the ground operation, which means that once you finish a mission, you land with the airplane in an airport. Before you can use the same airplane again to earn PAX or experience point, you need to wait that all the ground operations are completed. So this timer, this countdown, is what limit the use of the airplane. So you cannot do one mission after the other, things like that. And higher the level and the grade of the airplane, more short are the ground operation, and so more use you can do of the same airplane to earn more. All right, so this is how it works. Okay. So obviously, if an airplane has the ground operation that is still counting down, so it's not to zero, you cannot use it for another missions. Okay. The PAX wallet is getting upgraded too, because there are more reasons for transaction. Before we had only PAX you earn with your license, then you start spending them, so there is also the information about the spending of PAX. Now you get, if you do a restricted mission, you're gonna see your pilot license number and the flight report linked in the description. And then, because in a single mission you may earn for different things, so you earn because of your license, you earn because of your airplane, you earn because you own maybe an airport where you departed from or landed to, or both of them. And then maybe you earn extra because you have a subscription with SimFly, things that is coming soon, or because you participated to an event, also coming soon. So all those descriptions are coming in separate rows, okay? So you can see very well the details on how the different incomes are made, even if it's a single flight, but the details are distributed in more lines. So you earn such because of your license, you earn such because of airplane, and so on and so forth. So this is another important details, because it is how you see how you earn your PAX. Okay. Anyway, before we're going to put online the activation of the airplane, we're gonna do a full walkthrough for everybody to see, and in the wiki you're gonna see all the important information as well, so you will be able to relate it to the things with much more details. But if you still have question, go in the Ask Me Anything section of the website and ask a question about the airplane. Maybe for us something is so obvious we don't say, but it's not obvious for you, so ask out. So for the good of everybody, we're gonna give the information that you need. Okay. Small parenthesis, something that is also taking a little longer, but we are working to make sure that is perfect, is the client version 1.1.6. okay. We are doing the latest test. We want to make sure everything is smooth before we publish, and then we need to make another version again. So we rushed too much to deliver the one for the virtual reality and created a lot of troubles. So now we want to be very, very sure that everything is okay, and we are going to release it as soon as possible. All right. And now for the most fun part of our weekly video, the Ask Me Anything section. So first question asked by Gianni Romanisio, 27 of October, with 5 votes. It says, if I fly even with my own license time expired, for example, if I want to make an 8-hour flight, will the planes and airports still generate PAX token for me or not? So pretty much what it's saying, if my license timer hitting 0, so I'm not earning any more PAX with the license, will the airplane earn PAX and experience point? Will the airport earn PAX or experience point or not? And yes, they will, because each asset is separated, is individual, because you don't know who owns it. So let's say you're renting an airplane from somebody else, you're landing somebody else's airport, you're taking off from somebody else's airport. they cannot be punished because your timer are low, right? So each asset individually makes its earning of bucks and experience point independently from the other assets. Some stuff interfere. For example, how long was the flight before you land may have effect in the airport earnings. So if a flight come from very close, is very little. If a flight come from very far away, is more earning. But in terms of what they earn and how, each asset has its own limits set. For the airport is the turnaround, so many flight can land and take off, generating a revenue. The extra one will not, or just a small percentage. For the airplane is the groundwork that need to be done. For the license is the two timers. So each of those, so in fact to say the airplane is going to generate if you're using it because he did his own groundwork before, and so on and so forth. Okay. So yes, Gianni, to answer your question, yes, they're gonna still produce income. Alright, question number 2, asked by Igor MSK, the 2nd of November 2024, also 5 votes, and he says, if I have several planes parked at different airports, and we saw before how they look like when they are parked, will I be able to fly from an airport other than the one I landed at with my previous plane? So practically, in the unrestricted flight, you can do what you want. So airplane, and this is an answer for something I mentioned at the beginning with the parked airplane, explaining how airplane move from an airport to another, and licenses soon as well. Let me explain it now. So unrestricted flight, you can choose whatever airplane you have from wherever airport to another airport, no problem, okay? Later missions will require you to start from the airport where your airplane is. But even with unrestricted flight, if you choose the airport where your airplane is parked, you choose correctly the correct airplane, and you fly somewhere, in that case you are moving the airplane from the airport to the other one. Same thing with the license, okay? So if you're flying from a place with the license in another place, then you're moving the location of the license to this new place. Again, with unrestricted flight, the next flight you can do it from wherever you want, no problem. If you have multiple airplanes, and again, what is going to be important in future missions is that license is in an airport where you're leaving from, and this is very mandatory. Airplane has to be also in a but airplane you can rent somebody else's airplane, or you can get a SimFly airplane, but license has to be there. So if your license or your airplane are not in the correct airport, you can either go to the unrestricted flight and move them to the correct airport, or you can press the button move that you can see in the details of the asset. Is it a set of airplane or a set of license? Airport cannot be moved because they're physically in one place. And then paying a little bit of tax, you can move your airplane or your license to a specific airport, maybe to do a certain mission or whatever other things that you need to do. Okay, so this is the explanation. Hopefully is going to answer your question, Igor MSK. And now let's move to question number 3, as being asked by Daboulet, the 2nd of November 2024, as 3 votes, and he asked, could there be a pop-up added in the sim when you park and turn off engines to remind you to end the flight on the website? It's not always possible to remember to switch to a browser at the end of the flight. Yes, actually this is something they always told us we should do it, and we never end up doing it, but thank you for the reminder. That's something we are going to implement as soon as possible. Just in the dialogue that you can receive for the Sky Sentinel and for many other things, we can in fact communicate many other things that are important, but we don't want it to become something that is bothering people. But landed engine off, then is a message that can be done and can be actually, in theory, leave the button directly in the dialog to close the mission without forcing you to go into the website. So Daboulet, wait, it's gonna happen. I don't know when. We are so covered of so many things that we want to do. All right. And then last question, number 4, asked by Kindra, the 3rd of November 2024. 3 votes. Oh my god, guys, go in the Ask Me Any question and vote for questions, okay? So Kindra asked, what incentive will players have to rent other players' airplanes? Do the renter of an airplane earn any packs for flying with a rented airplane, or does only the airplane owner earn packs when his airplane is flown? Good question, very good question, and both parties earn. If you rent somebody else's airplane, you make an income. If you own an airplane that is being rented by somebody else, you make an income. So what if you own your airplane, obviously is the sum of the two. Okay, so if you fly your own airplane, you earn both the renter and the renter. Okay, but if you use somebody else's airplane, you are also taking part of the income that the airplane does. So the income of the airplane is split between the two parties. What percentage exactly? Probably is gonna be written in the wiki. We've been discussing a lot, 50-50, 70-30. I don't know which has been the last decision. So, but yes, the income is split. And okay, and this was the last thing, the last question for the Ask Me Anything. Is as always a pleasure to be here and share the news with you guys. What can I say? You know, SimFly, take off and get more.